if we're going to get on the Bigfoot topic, we need to do it the right way.
Yeah,
First thing would be like, do you believe Bigfoots exist?
I do.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
You can't think that every single person on the planet that have seen these things, whether it's Bigfoot or the Yeti or the skunk ape down in Florida or whatever, we have our own here in Arkansas, that they're lying, And my mom has a story about seeing Bigfoot, and my mom don't lie.
No.
You know what I mean? And years ago, her and her late husband lived in Washington State, and they did camp hosting at a campground. And that area was kind of known for Bigfoot sightings. And they were driving into town one evening, it was about dusk, and they were like, what's that on the side of the road? And it was something big. They didn't really know what it was, but there's like Roosevelt elk and there's bear and stuff like that where they were. And so they kind of come down to a going real slow, and it just ran across the road. And they both saw it. It was right in front of them. Stopped the car and watched it run across the road, up a train trellis, and go over the tracks and back down the other side. And they were completely stopped, just watching it right there out of the window on the driver's side.
It's not one of those things where you're just zooming by real quick.
No.
Like, you get to stop the vehicle.
They stopped.
And
they're like,
look.
what's that up there? And knew something. And then it ran across the road. And I said, how big was it? And she said, it looked like it was a juvenile. Yeah. She said it wasn't like huge, but, it had big long arms. It was covered in hair. And she said, we saw what we saw. And they didn't tell anybody. I mean, they didn't tell anybody around there. I didn't find out till years later about it. And finally, I've always kind of been interested in Bigfoot and stuff like that. And my mom finally told me that story. And, my mom don't lie.
Right.
She don't lie. She's definitely not going to just make something like that
Right.
up and to have me believe it for no reason, And that's pretty much all the proof I needed was my mom physically seeing one right in front of her face.